Hey folks, this is Manuel from Steadybit. In this video we will cover how you can actually run an experiment to check the effect in your system. So be aware, while you're designing an experiment, nothing happens to your system, everything is safe and you can't harm it in any way. But once you're running it, we are injecting the design faults into your system to see the effect. So make sure that you're doing it in an environment that is safe for chaos engineering, and also no worries, whenever things are going sideways, you can easily stop it. Let me show you how it looks by jumping over into the experiment section, where we have the capability to start an experiment right away by simply long pressing the play button, or I can jump into an experiment to actually see how the experiment looks like and double check whether it's the one I want to execute right now. And then you can see at the top right, we have the run experiment button to immediately run it. There are also other possibilities to run an experiment, for instance, in an automated fashion via our internal scheduler, or by using the API or command line interface to run the experiment from an external system. These are covered in a separate session. So the experiment looks good to me. We are validating what happens when a zone outage is going on for a specific Kubernetes deployment. For that, we're using the block traffic attack on a specific Kubernetes deployment, and we only attack a specific availability zone. While we are doing that, we are checking an HTTP endpoint, whether everything is working as expected for the entire time. And also, we want to only run this experiment when all pods are available in the beginning. And then we are expecting Kubernetes to detect some pods of being down while the zone outage is happening. And eventually everything should recover within 60 seconds. Also, we have some visibility into the Kubernetes events and into the pod count matrix so that we get a feeling of what's currently going on in my Kubernetes cluster while I'm running the experiment. All right, so let's inject some chaos into my system. You can see we are now switching into the experiment run view. We have the same timeline at the top so that you always know what's going on. The agent is now connecting to the platform to check for an experiment to be executed. Here we go, the experiment is already running. Below the timeline, you see events coming from your system, like for instance, the HTTP responses that we are constantly checking while attacking your system. And also at the right-hand side, Kubernetes events and the pod count matrix. So far, everything looks good. We have a lot of successful HTTP responses, but also now that the zone outage has kicked in, we can see some failures here, some timeouts of the load balanced HTTP endpoint. So it looks like that we have some improvements to be made to improve the reliability of the system. Also, you can see at the right-hand side that the readiness probe and the liveness probes are now failing because we are blocking the traffic to it. And this way, when it is restarting that particular pod. Now, while the experiment is continuing, I want to check out the other tabs that we have available in the run view. We have also the agent log. This is especially helpful whenever you need to debug the experiment run and understand what's going on. Also, whenever you're reaching out to our engineers, we typically ask you to provide the agent log. So that's one way to get it, to provide debug information. Other helpful information we get by the tracing. So these are the open telemetry traces, which helps to understand the communication flow. Now, coming back to the attack monitor, you can see that the experiment is done and it actually is in a failed state. And you can tell in the timeline that this particular step has caused the experiment to fail. And when opening it up, you can see that the HTTP success rate was below the configured 100%. And this way we need to fine tune the load balancer, or alternatively discuss with our product managers whether we really need to go for 100% success rate in this particular scenario. Now I want to cover two more things. First stop is whenever you decide, for instance, to reduce the HTTP success rate that you're expecting. Let's say we are hitting now for only 95%. You can save the experiment and run it right away. And now you can see at the left-hand side that the experiment design has changed in between. Also, one important aspect when running an experiment is knowing how to stop them whenever things are going sideways. For that, we have the stop experiment button at the right-hand side to stop that individual experiment immediately. Or also you can go to the left-hand side and hit the emergency stop button here, which will automatically stop all running experiment and prevent future experiment runs to be started. Now you can see the experiment has been stopped. The emergency stop is engaged, and this way no new experiments can be started. To allow experiment runs again, you simply need to disengage the emergency stop. That was everything so far on experiment runs. Thanks for watching and take care.